first time you're walking the Lima Trail?
It is, really.
Hi, Al. How are you?
Good.
Don't give me a kind word.
Good to meet
How are
you.
you?
It's looking pretty good down there.
It is, yeah.
It's coming along.
It is.
Right in the middle there. You're,
Anybody deserves to be front and center.
there you go.
All right, so I want to begin by thanking everybody for coming this morning. We certainly got a beautiful day for this announcement, which is really an announcement about the progress that we're making. This is a work in progress, but we've made tremendous strides in this year working together. The legislative delegation, Al Lima, Brian Pearson, my staff, everybody involved. So it's a red letter day. And I want to thank Representatives Sylvia, Fiola, Schmid. Senator Rodrigues wanted to be here but could not. He had to be on the Hill. Would have been here if we'd been able to do it at 9 o'clock, but we could not. But I want to thank him. Mike, Fall River Chairman and member of our CDA staff, Brian Pearson, and Fall River historian, planner, author, Al Lima, for their attendance. When I took office 10 months ago, many people came up to me with ideas they had for the city, or to advocate for a cause they were passionate about, or to inform me about a work in progress they felt needed more attention. One of the most passionate and persistent groups to come to my office during those first few months were the folks advocating for this project, the Quequechan River Rail Trail, which they described as having the potential to be a transformative one for the city. Once my staff and I started to dig into the plans and learn the details of the proposed trail, we realized they were absolutely right. The trail would transform a significant part of our city that had fallen into disrepair, an area right in the heart of our city, running through the Flint neighborhood and separating our north and south ends. Neglected railroad tracks would be replaced with a 10-foot wide path to increase the connection of our neighborhoods, make our city more walkable and more bicycle friendly, and create a common space for the people of Fall River to enjoy and make our city much more visually appealing. To provide some history for the project, our own Al Lima had the vision for this wonderful trail years ago, a vision that can be seen in these two diagrams that have been displayed. And one of his drawings can be seen here. Well, it says to my right, but it's actually, Rob, to my left. That's okay. The only thing you've gotten wrong. The first piece of the trail was completed in 2008, covering a mile-long stretch along the South Watuppa, extending from the Westport line to Brayton Avenue. Once that was completed, and that project was completed using federal highway funding. At that point, the project hit a snag. Unfortunately, little progress was made in moving the project forward from 2010 forward. The trail involved so many different parties, covering city, state, federal, and private property, requiring all sides working together toward a common goal. The project seemed to be caught up in some bureaucratic limbo. We needed to build a consensus about how the design would be implemented, settle some issues involving rights-of-way along the trail, find a way to carry out the construction in a way that would abide by environmental regulations, and line up a contractor willing to commit to a project that had previously hit multiple speed bumps. Our legislative delegation was extremely helpful and instrumental in moving this project along beginning at the start of this year. There was no single major obstacle holding us back. Rather, there were a series of small issues keeping the construction from going forward that could only be remedied by getting all the involved parties on the same page. My staff and I convened repeated meetings with every key agency, city department, and other organizations sitting around the table. We facilitated a dialogue where all of the issues could be worked out in person. Interestingly, problems we faced here were similar to problems we were facing in other projects, like buying electricity in bulk, which we talked about last week, or bringing Amazon to fruition. Here and there, we moved these projects forward by creating a climate where interested parties could speak frankly to each other with a view toward building a consensus and making progress. Problems and obstacles were identified, discussed candidly, and resolved. Let me emphasize, please, that my administration was part of what was a much larger team effort. And that's why I invited the people behind me to speak also. The vision for the trail came from the people of our community themselves, with Al Lima laying out his ingenious design. For his contributions, the trail has been named the Alfred J. Lima Rail Trail, and deservedly so. The funding for the project is coming from the state, and the work of our state delegation, as I said before, has been essential in this effort. Representatives Sylvia, Fiola, and Schmid, along with Senator Rodrigues, all see how this project will be truly transformative for our city, and they've worked very hard to make this a reality, and that's why they'll be speaking about that in a minute. And it all would not have been possible without the tireless advocacy from groups like Bike Fall River and Mass in Motion, who kept this project on the agenda and kept pushing it forward, even when it looked like it was tied up with red tape. Our contractor, Mike Bisco, is Mike here today, Lou? No?
They're on a bridge project.
Accepted a very challenging project that has seen its share of uncertainty, but it has been moving forward. Our role as the city government was to put the pieces together. Everyone wanted to make this trail a reality. We brought them together as best we could to work as a team and get it done. This is about a $4.7 million project funded by the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs, adding 1.6 miles of trail to the existing one, which was built in 2008. The first stretch was phase 1, and we're currently working on phases 2 and 3 simultaneously. It will require building 7 new bridges over the river and cleaning up an area that currently is filled with too much litter after years of neglect. Then a bike and walking path will be constructed that will serve as a link between Britland Park north of us to Quequechan Street to the east, coupled with a complete rehabilitation of Travassos Park northeast of us, a $2 million project also funded by the Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs. Overall, according to my city planner who's here, Bill Kenny, this is the most expensive rail trail project ever funded by the state. You nodding your head there, Bill? Okay. The construction so far has gone according to plan, and we are on track for a spring 2016 completion. Now to speak about the effect that the trail will have on bicyclists and other members of our community, Fall River Fall River Chairman Brian Pearson would say a few words. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. First, I and Bike Fall River would like to thank Mayor Sutter and his administration in regards to this project. Under his strong leadership and watchful eye, it not only moved forward, but at a rapid pace. Mayor Sutter knows that an amenity such as this multi-use path is what turns a city into a community. In addition, I want to thank our state delegation, who fought diligently to fund projects like this for the betterment of the city. This path will be used by the people of all ages for recreation, for commuting, for cyclists, by walkers and joggers. This path will now connect neighborhoods such as Niagara and the Flint. It will give families living in a densely populated area an opportunity to enjoy nature. No longer will commuters driving on the highway see a desolate, overgrown, forsaken area, but instead they will witness a rebirth, a revitalization taking place in the middle of the city. The Quequechan River was once the major artery for the city. Over the years, we allowed it to become clogged by neglect. Mayor Sutter, with the assistance from the state, operated on this clogged artery, and it opened it up for all of us to use. In closing, we must remember that in a fitting gesture by the city, this path was named the Alfred J. Lima Quequechan River Rail Trail, named after a man who had, and still has, a great vision for the city he loves. Many years ago, Mr. Lima had a grand dream for the Quequechan River, and today, that dream has become a reality, Al. Thank you again, Mayor Sutter, Mr. Lima, and all those involved for the hard work on this jewel located in the middle of the city. Thank you.
Statement and also introduction for our next speaker, and that would be you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I really don't have much to say except that I do want to emphasize that the bike path can be something major for the city, a major breakthrough. And I want to thank city staff and city administration and state legislators for the work that they've done in bringing this to fruition. So it's going to be a big job, and we have a lot to do, but we're continuing. And again, I want to thank you all for being so great and being here for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Al.
Well, thank you once again for your vision and your determination. And I could say the same thing about our legislative delegation. I think we're in Representative Sylvia's district, so he will speak first on behalf of the legislative delegation.
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you. Actually, it is the 7th Bristol district, but the bike path is so long that it actually extends right into Representative Fiola's district, then into Representative Smith's district, and all of those people that have been mentioned so far, especially Al Lima, thank you for your vision as this started some time ago, years ago. And I just want to also mention the Niagara Neighborhood Association that continually talked about this at every meeting, came up at every meeting, because it's so important, linking the south end of the community to the rest of the community. It was also mentioned, but I want to emphasize that this is the largest constructed bike path in the Commonwealth. And that kind of funding doesn't happen with one voice, it happens with many. And it's the teamwork that you see here, and our state senator, who happens to be at the State House right now. It is because of that teamwork that we were able to do this project and other projects. So I want to thank them. This is important for our entire community. These are the kinds of projects that we want to see that really improves the quality of life for people. And I just ask residents of the city to, when they get a chance, to please come down here. You don't have to be on a bicycle. Please come down for a walk and look at the beauty of what we have and this city has to offer. We've talked about Quequechan River for so many years. Folks only think of the Quequechan as some polluted area of our city, and but that has changed. And you can take a walk through this area and see the beauty, and have our children for many years in the future will enjoy this great site as it is improved as we go along. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Representative Sylvia, next.
Representative Final.
Okay, there you go. Gentlemen, thank you. You could see our teamwork in action. Mayor, I want to thank you for pulling this meeting together today. It's such an honor. Al, all of the great projects that happen in the city don't happen as was referenced alone. And more often than not, and probably almost in every situation, it's a passionate community person, a private citizen that leads these efforts. And that was Al with his vision, and I couldn't be more proud to have Al as a constituent and to be here on this rail trail named after him. What's so important, I think, for people to understand is this is never one person's effort, the fruit of any one person's effort. And when I work with the mayor and we come to Boston and we bring our community's issues forward, we do it together. Because if we do it alone, it doesn't get done. And that's the one thing I think I'm so proud to be a part of this delegation, of course, which includes the senator as well, our mayor, and the whole community neighborhood groups, community leaders. That's how these projects get funded, when the state sees that together we are working to get things done. They don't like dissension, so they have seen this team working well, and that's important. One of the things that we're going to see in the future is the baby boomers, as we're all moving forward are looking more and more to live in cities, and they want to be in livable cities. And this is the type of project, while we're working on education, jobs, and all those big issues that we talk about every day, we cannot leave out quality of life. And this project here, along with what's going on our waterfront now, and going on our bridges, is adding to the quality of our life. And I want to just again thank Al Lima for constantly bringing these issues forward. I know he does in his group to me, and I know we will continue to do so. And don't let that demeanor, that calm demeanor, let you be fooled. He is a ferocious advocate, and you're fooling them today, Al, but obviously he gets things done. I couldn't be prouder. I can't wait to walk on here and bike on here, and I'll be hosting a walk and talk this afternoon on the tail end of this project. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Representative Viola. And finally, to wrap it all up, Representative Smith.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Well, you know, we all understand that in Boston, Brookline, and Cambridge, they take their amenities very, very seriously. And why shouldn't we here in Fall River have the same amenities to attract young people to come, invest, and grow here in Fall River? And there are many heroes this morning who have combined to bring this to Fall River. Al Lima, who has done so much work for Fall River on this, and also bringing the Community Preservation Act to Fall River, which is another source of amenities for this community. Our mayor, who understands the importance of bicycling, walking, and exercise, and who has made Fall River a leader in the bicycle culture here on the South Coast. Of course, another hero who's not here is Julie Kelly, Mass in Motion, and I think we do want to mention her for her advocacy of this effort. Neighborhood leaders like Carlos Caesar from the Flint neighborhood, who's been pushing for the Britland Park and the Father Travassos Park. And of course, my colleagues, who together we have brought the largest investment in a bicycle and walking path to the South Coast. It's just an honor to be part of this, and I feel so delighted today for the future of Fall River. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you. I too would like to acknowledge the neighborhood leaders. I see Ellen Rigo, Carlos Caesar, of course, Julie Kelly, everybody who's been involved. And with that, any questions from anyone? All right. Great. Thank you all again for coming. Look forward to seeing you on the trail.
Well, I know.
Yeah. Beautiful remarks. Very well done. Okay. Thank you.
You know who was another advocate for this was Reverend Hornsby.
I should have mentioned Jim.
How are you? Good to see you. I know I do.
We were just talking about you.
Yeah.
Were your ears burning?
Oh, good thing.
Heaping praise on you, Julie. Heaping praise on you. All good things.
Here it is. Here it is.
Somebody had to have a dream.
Al Lima. There he is. There's the man with the dream.
Yeah.
Hi.